What's up, everybody? 256 Vapes here. Today we are here to do a review, but this video is going to be just a little bit different. Everything that you've seen me review up to this point has either been a juice, my favorite coils, or a RDA. I think I've only done one RDA at this point. So here's what I got. Today we're going to review the RX200 from Wismec. Now, I know it's an older device. People are like, that's irrelevant. Why are you doing that? Here's my thing. I bought an RX200 probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it was my daily driver mod. I had it with me every day until I picked up the Snow Wolf. It was with me every day, and I don't know how much y'all know about me. If you follow me from my Instagram, you'll know a little bit more than if you're just finding me right now. I'm a very rough person. I'm a rough guy. Things you tend to not last as long as they should, because my last 3 jobs were maintenance in a big industrial facility. I was a craftsman for a woodworking company, and now I am back in maintenance, doing apartments. So I drop stuff, I kick stuff, I throw stuff. Not uncommon to see me get mad and chunk something across the truck or across the room or whatever. But that being said, this mod that we are going to review today is an old mod. Like I said, I have had it for probably almost 3 years now. So I call this mod battle tested. Anybody that has seen me for a while knows how bad this mod is. So that being said, we're going to review the mod. Keep in mind, this is battle tested, and it has been through a lot of abuse, and it still works. So here we are, the Wismec RX200. You can see most of the paint is either coming off or is very, very faded. You can see the button. It used to say J-Bo. That's very, very faded now. Again, the sides. And there's the back of the mod. There's the top of the mod. Not too much damage. Just around the edges here and around the 510. You can see just a little bit of excess juice in there. And here is the bottom. A lot of wear around here where you're sitting it down and all that good stuff. And then some around these vent holes. Alright, let me tell you. It works. No atomizer, 85 watts. Let's flip it around so you can see it better. 85 watts. No atomizer, it works. Now, let's screw an RDA on it. Today we're going to be using the Goon 1.5. Fantastic RDA. I recommend it to anybody. So let's screw it on. And today we are using the juice that I reviewed earlier, which is Blue Raz Blow. Here we go. It would help if I would screw the RDA down all the way. She works, guys. I mean, as rough as it looks, as long as I've had it, it still works. It still works. I mean, almost as good as the day it was new. Now, it's got some issues now that it's 3 years old, and I will go over those here in just a moment. But let's talk about when this mod was new. All right. The RX200, it came out as a 200 watt mod. The couple of the main selling points of the mod, where it was a triple 18650. It had reverse polarity protection. If you put batteries in backwards, it's not going to kill it. It's not going to fry it. Whatever. It originally was a 200 watt mod that had firmware upgradability, and they updated the firmware to where you add an additional 50 watts. It's got stainless steel. It's got nichrome, stainless steel, M1 and M2. Let's go over those. Alright, so to get into the temperature control, hit the button 3 times. Wattage. I believe that is nichrome. Let's see if we can focus it any. That's nichrome. That's titanium, stainless steel, M1, M2, and M3, and then regular wattage mode. I don't use temperature control, mainly because I did come into it after temperature control was a big deal. So there's that. Let's see. It's firmware upgradable temperature control, 250 watts for reverse polarity protection. It's triple 18650. And when it came out, it was just an awesome mod. I love how big it is and how heavy it is, and it is a heavy mod. You put 3 batteries in anything, and it's going to be heavy. We'll discuss one of these problems. All right. So one of my only problems with this mod, and I can fix it routinely for a while. With the batteries out of it, if you look down in that hole, there's a screw missing. It popped out sometime or another. Not really sure when it did, but it bent the mod out or up. It bent these two connections up. So sometimes what I have to do is I have to take it and bend it down a little bit so it tightens the battery in there. Now let's put the batteries back in it. Like I said, totally honest review, guys. This is a super old mod, and it is performed super well for how old it is, and the fact that it still works. Alright, that's it at 85 watts. So, a little bit more. The paint, you gotta expect the paint to come off at some point. Like I said, I would take this and just drop it right now. Don't want to do that because I just don't want to. But it's a super good mod. It does have the charging port, but anytime you want to charge your batteries, it is always best to have an external charger and take your batteries out, put them on a good charger to get your charge. But other than that, it's just been a super good mod for me. I mean, you can see the magnets. You can see an empty magnet hole there. You can see a magnet there. An empty hole. Nope. I still have 3 out of the 4 magnets that came in this mod just because it fell out. I mean, if I take the mod and do this number, you can see that it sags. Pulls off super easy. Shit happens. Like I said, it's a 3-year-old mod. You can't expect it to be brand new. And that's why I'm here. I wanted to tell people what happened to these mods after you had used them for a long time. A lot of reviewers are here on YouTube reviewing brand new devices and they never follow up on them. I'm following up. I get it. It's an old mod. I will do the same thing with this one and any other mod I get. This was my daily setup for a long, long time. The RX 200 with the Goon 1.5, Unleashed Coil Company, Clapton Coils in here. Now, I've been through different cottons, so I can't tell you that the cotton bacon that I'm using now was what I was using a year ago, because it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it was Firebolt cotton. But that's what we got. So it's an extremely good mod. I normally don't run above 85 or 90 watts. Just because I don't feel the need much. Now, I have thought about sanding down this mod and refinishing it. That might be something that I do as another video, and then it would be a almost perfect mod. Other than the few little, if I put another screw in there and repainted the mod and put another battery in that little hole, the device would be perfect. And I haven't upgraded the firmware in a while, but it doesn't need it. I did have one problem with it a long time ago. All of a sudden, it just stopped firing. I went and talked to a buddy of mine in a local vape shop. He said mine did that, and I upgraded the firmware, and it works perfectly now. When I go home, what I do, I went home, I upgraded the firmware, the mod worked perfectly. So that's what we have here today. Let's give it another vape, and then we'll get out of here. Let's get it cloudy in here. A little bit more juice. But anyways, guys, I just want to say thank y'all for all the support that I have gotten on the YouTube channel. As always, I'm over on Instagram more than I am YouTube. Y'all are more than welcome to follow me over there. Go look at my stuff. You'll see this mod ever since the beginning of my Instagram channel, my Instagram page. A little bit too much juice on that one. Okay, so here's another problem with me. I'm a terrible overjuicer. You can see juice running down that mod right now. I've never had a problem with shorting out. I've never had a problem with the mod itself. And I am a super overdripper. I know there has been juice get down to that 510. I guarantee it. It is what it is. There for like 3 or 4 days, I put this on the recurve, my recurve. And I put it back on this mod. Well, I forgot to put the regular pin back in it. And so I had a squonk pin in there for about a week before I realized, hey, all my juice is leaking out of this thing every time. And then I looked and I had a squonk pin in it, so it was just pouring down to the 510. A lot of people have had issues with these with the 510. I have not. So, I mean, take my review for my review and my opinion only. It's been a fantastic mod. It still works. This mod usually sits up there on that shelf and doesn't get used that much. I have moved to other things. But I went online and I was looking it up, making sure I had all my my information for the review. Look, I know this mod. I was just getting some of the finer details, but did go ahead and look it up, and you can find it anywhere from $25 to $50 online, brand new. The colors look great on these mods when they're new. The packaging is great. I loved it. And like I said, I love this mod for a very, very long time. I would recommend picking one up if you don't have one. If I can usually get a day out of my 18650s on this, and I vape a lot. I was basically employed by myself. I was employed by my father for a long time, And so I could routinely walk around the shop vaping. And it wasn't nothing for me to be vaping 90% of the day whenever I was just sitting around or working, making stuff, just vaping away, you know? So, thank you guys. I know this video is a little longer than the rest of them, but y'all stay safe and keep vaping.